Now, the move could potentially impact hundreds of thousands of foreign graduates. Trump's comments are a departure.
Guys, it's June 21st, 2024. It's June 21st, 2024. And I'm going to write a work paper today, and it's going to be on Article 15 of the Universal Declaration. And that's going to be my new work paper. I've only taken one day off over the past 7 months or so in writing work papers, work reports, and publishing them, and making sure that my legal article, Americana, the New Societies, Concepts, and Political Apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality, was perfected. And so once again, I did, refine my legal article, meaning Americana, the New Societies, Concepts, and Political Apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality. So even if, federal agents or state agencies and this might have documented or stored any of my works, including the legal article, even if they've corresponded with professionals and governments in the Caribbean who say they're never going to acknowledge that I wrote it because I'm not a nice person or because I'm too egregious in conduct or blah, blah, blah. None of that is going to take away my intellectual property and my rights, my complete rights and access to it, and my complete protection of it in exclusionarily. So Letitia James, Attorney General of New York, you do not have any access to any of my intellectual property and the monetary or any, hold on. So Letitia James, you're not going to have any access to my intellectual properties. You don't have any access to any of my intellectual properties, and you never had any access to my intellectual properties. You don't own anything, you don't possess anything, you don't have any right to it. You don't have any argument or debate available toward that end. You're never going to ask that I never speak perfect again. You're never going to send any sort of communication to me that I better hush my mouth or you will do this or do that. Young woman, middle-aged woman, I'm just not taking you seriously. You're too incompetent, you're too biased, and this is personal to you. I'm almost sure of it. So I don't care what you have to say. Don't try to access any of my financial accounts. Don't request any of my social accounts shut down. I want you to know that. And I want you to take heed. This is not a threat at all. This is not a criminal threat at all. This is a notice from the federal government of the United States on my behalf, done via my communication, me. So once again, Letitia James, you do not have an argument toward owning any of my intellectual properties. No one does but me. And I'm not providing any documentation or any communication or implicit or explicit, term that allows you to believe otherwise or affects otherwise.
Attorneys are basically saying that prosecutors want to put Baldwin in prison for an accident that is really someone else's fault. But the judge
Excuse me, sir. So as you can see, so as you can see, this is the same Shawn Dexter John. I give you guys enough times, biometrical time, and biometrical information to be able to verify it's me. This is the same Shawn Dexter John, born of the Caribbean community in 1985, specifically the Commonwealth of Dominica, and I am an American citizen. You know, I've been here in this country on the mainland for, ever since '99. For the most part. I've been a fixed resident of the United States ever since '99. As a kid, I used to visit the United States mainland, but in '99, I became a permanent, a fixed resident of the United States mainland. And I haven't, and this hasn't changed at all. This is facts, and this is not going to change at all. Facts don't really change at all, in all honesty. But anyway, I need you guys to understand. I need you guys to understand that no one in my family, once again, no one in my family actually owns any of my intellectual properties. I don't have any will, automated or written out, that's going to award any family member any sort of, compensation or any sort of financial reward or benefit or gain, from any of my financial accounts in the States. And I'm not dying. I'm not sick at all. I'm not preparing to die. No one is going to harm me. I just want you guys to get that out of the way. Not get that fact, that reality out of the way, but get the nonsense out of your heads. The nonsense being you guys being able to take away my happiness, my financial happiness, and this and this and that. There is no miscommunication here. You guys just refuse to accept the truth. And nothing Rashida Williams does, nothing Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh does, nothing Clay Crispin John does, negates this reality. And nothing they do negate this reality. Nothing they do separately negates this reality. I want you guys to know that this is a clear fact. There's nothing else you guys got to figure out about this particular reality. The book sketched the New Society's concepts and apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean model of commonality, that which was authored by me and published in 2012 and revised in 2013 with iUniverse. That was also written by me and conceptualized completely by me, just as all of my other published work. And the book sketch itself, published with iUniverse in 2012, So once again, I just got to let the cars drive past because, it's sort of bothering me when I'm trying to speak on the video recording, when I'm trying to video record. But anyway, I want you guys to understand this. The book sketch, 760 pages. And what I just said does not imply that I like being in the house or within any confined space at all. It does not mean that I like being restricted or under detainment. None of that is implied. None of that, asserts any truth, connecting with that particular condition. This is just not a reality of mine. What was communicated, about me not liking to work with too many people when I'm doing my work, me not liking to be out all day long, or sometimes me being out all day long too often. 1 minute. What do you call it? Hold on, guys. Hold on. So once again, guys, listen. So once again, me not, I got to respond to all of the chat room correspondences I've seen. Me not liking to continue speaking while the cars are driving past, because I know that you guys are going to hear muffled vocals and could misinterpret it, does not mean that I like being detained in any house. I'm not being detained in any house. It does not imply that I'm petitioning toward that sort of condition. That's just not a reality. It does not mean that I want to be in jail. It does not mean that I want to be in prison. It does not mean that I want to be in any sort of a detainment center. It does not mean any of that. It doesn't mean any of that. I want you guys to accept this, man. Melvin Ote, I do not care. I don't care that you can't handle me saying these things. You're not requesting anything to my email accounts or to my friends or to my associates, which alters what I communicate back to you guys or to you guys. I'm not communicating anything back to you guys, but I at times I figure out that you guys actually believe that. Melvin Ote, I'm addressing stuff that you guys have said to each other on chat rooms, federal account chat rooms, you know, media chat rooms and so forth. I don't want you guys attempting to sabotage or denigrate my identity, my contracts, my character, and my portfolio or my future. You guys are not on my level. That's what I'm going to have to say to Melvin Ote moving forward. Melvin Ote, you're not a great lawyer. You're very simpleton at best, and you're not going to communicate. That's what African Americans are accustomed of. No, this is not a game between African Americans and Afro-Caribbeans. This is not a game between the United States and the Caribbean community. This is Melvin Ote, prepare to get the fuck out of my country. Prepare to get the fuck out of the United States of America. You guys messed up, okay? You guys messed up badly. I'm going to give you guys a few more months to be able to pack up your shit and get the fuck out of the United States of America, and you guys are not taking with you guys any woman or women at all. You guys are getting the fuck out of the United States of America. You guys are procurers of prostitutions. Listen again, you guys were procurers of prostitution rings protected by the FBI. You guys got caught. You guys are not going to argue that I'm schizophrenic, and only a schizophrenic person cannot handle cars driving by. Only a schizophrenic person likes total silence at all times. Only a schizophrenic person likes, walking to the fast food restaurant and sitting there and writing his work paper. They counter their arguments so many times. I make sure that they do. Me and the rest of the Central Intelligence Agency, we make sure that they do. We convolute so many of the conversation. What are initiated? I don't. In all honesty, we do nothing unlawful, but we allow people to reveal themselves. 1 minute I'm too aloof. 1 minute I'm too introverted. The next minute I'm too extroverted, and it's all negative at all times. One minute I'm too positive. 1 minute I'm too humanitarian. 1 minute I'm only too humane. 1 minute I'm too focused on ethics. 1 minute I'm too Constitution motivated. 1 minute I'm too international motivated. The next minute I'm clearly Caribbean. The next minute I'm too American. Guys, let go. Do you guys understand? So this is what was actually going on. People were attempting to log into my Facebook account, and they would send messages to the women who were entering or re-entering my procreation program to have additional kids with me. And they would send messages saying his ex-wife or his ex-fiance or his ex-wife and ex-fiance. They all say that he's a wife beater, that he must have been a criminal rapist because he's accusing criminal rapists of being too mentally retarded and this and this and this and this and that. That he must have been a wife beater in the past, or he must have been the one who ran into my house and beat me up and ran out. So many crazy conversations and communications that these women have had. These very angry women who are very, very insecure about their situation. They are certain that I'm telling them I no longer want them to be in my life. That I've moved on. When they heard that I have a daughter with Beyonce and that I was moving on, they just imagined that I was saying something, But I was all over the place, rescuing angels. In all honesty, I want you guys to understand this. I was all over the place rescuing angels, and a great majority of them, for the most part, have birthed children of mine. We had sexual relations. They were separating from their husbands or their boyfriends, usually already completely, separated, and so forth. Abused women who were identified earlier on, before I even got to Howard University, but for the most part, some, not all were identified before Howard University, but by the time I got to Howard University, there was a bona fide program which was being created for me to procreate genius or genius-like children to serve as the lead agents of the Central Intelligence Agency because I was so proficient as a natural born and trained genius in deciding the future of the Central Intelligence Agency, even as a young kid. So there's no reason for you guys to log into my Facebook account, to change my password or do any of that. And to send messages to some of these women accusing me of this and this and that and deleting those parts of the messages as if nothing has ever occurred regarding that. You guys have been caught. Each and every one of the federal agents and associates and hired folks have been caught doing so. So I want you guys to know, Rashida Williams and Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh, you guys are just going to have to humble yourselves. You guys are not going to get $1 million. You guys are not going to get $1 million house. You guys are not going to get $1 million portfolio. You guys are not going to get $1 million accounts. Those are just tests of consciences. The federal agents, they're being fired and they're moving to Canada. Not you. Not you, Rashida Williams. Not you, Patricia Roberts. You guys are going to live with me. And speaking of Rashida Williams and Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh, you are going to move with me to Coral Gables, Florida. Okay, I'm going to walk Rashida Williams into heaven. In all honesty, I'm telling you guys the truth. I'm going to walk her into heaven, and I'm going to walk her back out with her and myself having new human bodies. You know, for security purposes, especially based on what we've been through and what's going to happen over the next few weeks or so. And Patricia is going to live with me until I purchase her a house within that particular neighborhood, the Coral Gables neighborhood, or right near. Okay, she's going to live with me and Rashida. And I did explain this. Well, the song Wiz Khalifa, I did explain this. Well, I'm not a rapper. I'm not a violent person, but things have been covered up in hip hop. Yes, Rashida is yellow skinned. She's African American. She's a yellow skinned. And Patricia is dark skinned. And she's Haitian American, a refugee officially and secretly. I guess a secret to some of you guys. But anyway, she's Haitian American. Okay? One is yellow skin and one is dark skin, damn near black skin, right? So that's what I covered up. And yes, we do have Africa and China does, well, Africa and China, their partnership does. Oh, it's a partnership. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to say this again. So Africa and China, they do have a plan to motivate economic growth in China and to allow China to evolve into becoming the wealthiest continent on the planet. And by 2063, China will ensure, as well as African governments, that Africa has the tallest skyscraper, representative of having the strongest economy, continental economy on the planet, with the United States maintaining the largest integrated economy on the planet when it comes to the United States system itself, and China having the largest economy in the Asia Pacific, while preparing for India to develop into having the largest economy in West Asia. Okay? So I want you guys to know that. I'm telling you, I have children with all of these women. I have 3 kids with Rashida Williams. I have 2 kids with Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh. How can they be anyone else's woman or women? I'm not joking around with you guys. Okay? You guys are going to sit there and cry. Ugly Africans, sit there and cry. I could give a fuck less. LeBron James is not smart. There's no future associated with him. There's nothing positive that comes out of this nigga's mouth. Shut up. But anyway, so anyway, LeBron James is about to go to jail very soon. He's going to fake his death, or he's going to be arrested, and he's going to go to jail. He's going to end up being 160 pounds, and he's going to lose both his legs to amputation. He really murdered a little girl, an underage female, back in 2008. And he has raped many women, countless women and girls. He has shot too many people ever since high school. Okay? He does not want to mess with the CIA. The CIA is gangster to gangsters. You know, you don't want to mess with the CIA. When you get gangster, the CIA gets gangster, and it's never to your benefit. It's always to your detriment, gangsters. I told you guys from the get-go, man. Got it? So when he gets down to 160 pounds and he's almost indecipherable, once again when he gets to 160 pounds and he's almost indecipherable, he'll be able to get leg implants, and it's just going to be skin and bones. When you guys see young people in wheelchairs, and you see that they have, you know, skinny legs, damn near with no muscles, just skin and bones, you have to know that those are leg implants, and their legs were amputated for having attempted to murder someone, or having actually successfully murdered someone based on police instructions or federal government instructions and so forth, and that's why they are not in jail for the rest of their lives. That's how that works. Do you guys understand? So anyway, I'm going to write a work paper today. I'm going to have it published, and it's going to be on the 15th article of the Universal Declaration, Article 15 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You know, so the UN, the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay? So I'm not speaking a whole bunch of nonsense. You guys are not going to review this video recording for the schizophrenic parts. You guys are not going to highlight the schizophrenic parts. I'm just testing your conscience while revealing the truth. Okay, you guys are stuck. And you guys are going to learn that there's no point in retaliating. Start preparing to leave the country, Melvin Ote and Letitia James. I might allow Letitia James to be governor of New York, but she's going to be in Canada. Okay? She's going to be in Canada for the rest of her life, very soon. And she's just going to be a proxy governor of New York, and after what happens in Manhattan and Moscow. You know, she's going to run for her life. And she's going to be okay with Canadian citizenship and an American visa, and she's going to purport to have an American identity for diplomatic purposes in serving as the proxy governor of New York. You know, toward opening up the borders between the United States of America and Canada by 2027, 28, 29. You know, so I want you guys to understand this. I'm not overbearing. I am not irrational. I'm not unmerciful. Obviously, I'm a very merciful being. I am who I say I am. I am God. The only God you guys will ever know for the rest of eternity. I promise you. Do you guys understand? This is temporarily declassified information that's not believable to the general public unless they are briefed. But you guys will be able to find out later on if you guys are not yet briefed. And you guys are not here to get on your knees and bow before me or any of that. I am Jesus Christ. I don't need that. Okay, I run away from that, especially here when on earth. When that happens in heaven, it's usually an emergency situation, and everyone is just so happy that I saved heaven from being breached. Okay? I never demand anyone bow before me. I never demand anyone, actually become burdened by acknowledging my love for humanity and the rest, and heaven itself. Okay, guys?